Good day, everyone. My name is John Leonard Onagali from BSIT S2A. So for the C9, we want to create a public folder, and then permission is only to read and write, and then for the users, anyone can upload it. And for the files, all files format except .exe, .com, .vb, .vbs. So basically, we want to create these folders and then make sure that we match the permission, the user, and the files that it's going to accept or it can only accept. So for the step one, again go to server manager and click add roles here, and then choose the file services, and then click next, and then again click next, and choose the file server resource manager. By default, this one's not checked, but make sure to check it first before clicking the next button. So let's check this one first and then click the next button. And then for the next step is just to click next and install and wait for it to install, and then after that you can click close. And then for step 9, you can add new folder named public. So add new folder in the computer, and then right click the folder and choose properties, and then the public properties, go to sharing and then click share, and then here you can see the file sharing option in which we want to press everyone. So under this drop down menu, so click everyone, and then for the permission level we should put it at as read and write. Then after that we can now press share. So your folder is shared now, so close. And then here what we want is to go to the file server resource manager under the file screening management. So here the file screening management, then click create file group. Choose a file group name. In the files to include section, choose the files you want to block or restrict in order. So here we want to add a file group name, so I'm going to name it as public, and the files to include, these are the files to include that you actually want to exclude or you want to not include in your folder. So as the instruction has stated, we should not be able to store .com.exp, .vb, and .vbs inside the public. So here you're going to include those files. Then after that, we can now go to file screen templates. So after we created the file groups, we can now proceed to file screen templates and click go to file screen templates and click create fixed screen template. So this one, adds one, right click and then that, and press that one, and here choose a template name and then select the file groups to block. Since the option here is to block the file group, so whichever files or whatever files are included in the file groups, those files will be blocked. Okay, so next is template name. I chose public exclude so that it will be easier for me to find it later and to deploy, since I know that this template name is for the files that is going to or that are going to be excluded in the public folder. And then select file groups to block. So here it will show the file groups that we've created a while ago, and you can choose, or you should choose the public one, then click create. So after creating a screen template, we can now proceed to the file screen. Here in the file screen, right click and then create file screen, and click the browse and choose the location of the folder. So after creating file screen, we should check the browse in which folder or what folder we're going to apply the file screen. So click browse and then choose the location of the folder and then choose the desired file screen template. So the file screen template that we're going to use is the public exclude, the one that we've created a while ago. It will block all the files that's included in the file groups that we've created also a while ago. This file screen template will restrict the file type the folder can store. So and then after that we can now create it, and after creating it you cannot store file types that are .com, .vb, and etc. So step 22, after creating another folder for after vb.net, so here we want to create another folder that's named vb.net. So create another file group. Since the instruction is to only include a certain file type, we can put the asterisk in the files to include, meaning all types of files will be blocked later. However, in the files to exclude section, we add the files we do not want to be blocked in the folder. Here, it requires us to put in the files to include this wizard, so it won't run unless we put anything in the files to include. So instead of putting the files one by one, so we can just use the asterisk symbol in which it will include all files. However, in the files to exclude, it will exclude these files from the files to include, meaning all files except the .rar and .zip will be blocked with this straight file group. And then for the properties, the same with the public folder, right click and then sharing, and then under the sharing you can create the public sharing and then choose the everyone, and for the permission it's read and write. It's also the same here, it applies the same here. So let's proceed to step 23 and then create another file screen template. So here I'm going to name the template as include, since it contains all the files that we're going to block except the files that we do not want. So in short, it's the include, but you can put any name here if you want, as long as it works for you. And then choose a file group. So this file group will block all the files included in the include file except the ones in the files to exclude. So I'm going to choose the vb.net and then press create. But okay, actually it's okay. And then step 24, create a new file screen. Browse the desired folder and include the file screen template to be used. So same with the public folder a while ago. So let's browse the file screen path that we want to enable it. So we want to enable it in vb.net. So after that, we're going to choose the screen template, which is vb.net include. And then summary of the screen properties, here you can see a summary, and then create. And after that, create another file group for C programs. So insert the .c and .cpp to the files to exclude and the asterisk to files to include. So again, same scenario with the vb.net. The files to include, all files we're going to block except the files that are in the .c or .cpp type. Click OK and then create another file screen template. Name it in whichever name works for you, and then select the file groups to be blocked. So C program and then OK, and then click on create another file screen. And then this one, we're going to browse the C programs and choose the newly created file screen template, which is the C programs to include, and then press create. Then for the surnames underscore section folder, so here we have different permission level, or the users rather, which is the permission is the full control and the users should only be the domain users. So to do that, under the let's go to the properties and security, and then click the users, here the users, and under the permissions for users, check to allow the full control here and click apply. This one. So we want this one, the users, because we want to include only the users that's under this domain. So step 29, create a new file group for the surname section folder. Here we only want to receive .c.cpp, .doc, .pwg, .pdf, and .ppt. So create a new file screen template and choose the surname section file group to block. Again, template name and then the file groups to block. And then step 31, create another new file screen. Choose a file screen path and choose the right file screen template. So we'll choose the path of the surname underscore section and then the template, which is the surname plus section underscore section include, and then create. So for the last folder we want is the photo. So file group name photo, and then what we want to exclude in the files to be blocked are GIF, JPG, and .png. So click OK and then create another file screen template, and the template name is include photos, and then select the file groups to block, so and then press OK, and then create another file screen and browse the folder and include the file screen template for the folder to have file restrictions. So the screen path is the photo male and photo female, and then include photo. So this one's the screen template that we created a while ago. So it will block all the data or file type except or excluding those that we excluded in the group file, which were the GIF, PNG, and GIF, PNG, JPEG. And then for the step 35, you can see the collection of active file screen paths that restricts certain file type to be stored inside the folder. So here is the summary of the active file screen path, as we can see, and that's all for the C8. We learned how to have a full access and control to the folders that we created, and we can only include or exclude certain file types in that folder.